data, and hopefully we should be live very soon. Streaming on Facebook, that's good. Waiting for YouTube. Streaming on YouTube as well. Awesome. So we should be live on a Monday, Cyber Monday special. Let me just do some shares. Going into YouTube, looking for that link. We're just going to take like 2 or 3 minutes until people start joining our stream. We're here with Erez Eisen, the Polyverse Chief of Innovation, the guy that is the inspiration and driving force behind Polyverse, and also, of course, Infected Mushroom, the best psytrance act in the world.
Keep talking.
And I'm Assaf Sagol, the CEO of Polyverse Music. And we're here to discuss a little bit about Filterverse. While we open this live stream up, we are going to take our time for you guys to join our stream.
Shalom alufim, 4x4.
Hello, champions, 4x4 says, and Big Empty Brain says hello. So hello to all of you guys. This is a rare opportunity for everybody to ask Erez some questions about how he designs his sound. We would like some feedback from you guys on how this stream sounds and the balance. So if you want me to change the balance a little bit, I can do that. Can you hear the sound? How's the sound going? Ooh, Erez, wow. Is this a pure synthesizer from Filterverse, Erez?
So yeah, this sound have basically no source whatsoever. It's just this oscillator section that creates the sound. I can disable the space, and basically it's just one filter, the evil filter that creates all of this amazingness with the oscillator section. So here it is dry. So if I turn off Filterverse, there's nothing, because Filterverse makes all the sound from scratch, including the oscillator section finally. So it's a lot of fun, and the way I do it is by opening a DSR that will control the volume of whatever oscillator I want to use. So in this case, just controls this one. And here I have something else that I like a little bit of this square that's a bit off tune to give this analog character. So I added the squareness a little bit too. And of course, damage. It sounds incredible. And a little bit of drive just to give this extra sauce. This is a little examples of one of the sounds. I have a MIDI stuck over here.
This sounds incredible, Erez. Your touch is just phenomenal. Everything sounds so smooth and complicated and nuanced.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I made the whole project here basically just playing with Filterverse as a source for everything, so including these sounds and kick drums and hi-hats and whatnot. Like, I'm pretty happy with this kind of drum section here, because it's just white noise. I'll play it in context for 1 sec. basically just this thing. So it's
Erez,
just,
can
just
we
white
get
noise.
can we get a little bit more level from your voice?
For my voice, sure, yeah.
Yes.
Let's try. Is it better now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this is just white noise with some coils and space, and this is without the coils and space. And then I add the coils and space. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun to create even drum loops and kick drums and whatnot from all inside an effect machine, basically, multi-effect machine, which is now also synthesizer.
So
fun.
how many Filterverses do you have running there in the background?
Oh my God, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't know if I see all the channels. I think right now like 13.
13.
And I'm just running it on M1, the basic M1 laptop, like nothing special.
How much
Like
memory?
like, I think 16. I think it costs these days like $700, this computer.
Yeah.
Or 800, I'm not sure.
So yeah, Filterverse
Yeah.
is not the most CPU easy plugin on the market, but definitely it's not super hungry, and you can run a bunch of Filterverses there, and you're not sparing anything. You have like tons of reverbs going on there and delays that take a lot of memory, and you have a
Yeah.
lot of our more
Automations.
elaborate, like CPU hungry stuff, like the fractaser and the coils. So
Yeah, and I work at pretty low latency, I guess. I mean, for me, it's enough, 256, I guess, for the sequencer. Play live also with this latency, so...
do you
works
use
pretty well.
Filterverse on your live shows?
Yes, all infected live shows for the last 6 months, I think.
And
We
you're
use
not
the
afraid it's
Filterverse.
going to crash?
Well, I have backups, so I have backup for everything. So in case one crashes, I have another computer.
So you're
It didn't
safe.
crash yet. It didn't crash yet.
Knock on
I
wood.
run it. Yeah, knock on wood. I don't have wood here. Where is the wood? Okay, I don't have one. But I'm fucked. But yeah, it's great. And also we run the guitar. The guitar player. We have a bunch of guitar players, but Yossi is the main one today. And so I get a clean signal from his guitar, and I just run it through manipulator, gatekeeper, filterverse, comet. All of this stuff are running to make his guitar sound. And it's very stable. We have very low latency and no complaints so far. Actually, I'm going to meet him next week because we want to make now more sounds with the new filters. So...
Cabinator.
Oh yeah, cabinator.
Cabinator plus fractaser means infected mushrooms new guitar sound, right?
Yeah, and we also have the fractizer exactly that gives this laser on the guitar chops. That's a lot of fun. So
That's beautiful. I love that fisheye view into your studio. It's always fun to see. We have some
lab.
We have some questions already about sound design. Let's see. Would love to see how Erez makes those rich timbre sigh sounds from like Blue Rhythmic Night, like super low filter saws.
Blue Rhythmic Nights. Now he's speaking about a track that I made when I was maybe 15 years old.
So you didn't make that with Filterverse, I guess.
I didn't have Filterverse at the time, but...
Not even Pulsar, right? Not even Scope, Creamer Scope.
I had a PC with a turbo button. It was like a 386 or something, I don't remember, you know. And you press the turbo button, and I couldn't export the whole song. I had to export like 2 minutes, and then there was a glitch. So I export another 2 minutes and so on, and then I stitch it all together in SoundForge because the computer couldn't export it properly.
Thank you, Andy Vax. We love you too. So,
Yeah, so
what
let's make some.
synthesizer? How did you do that sound? First of all, let's kind of
So
talk
let's
about the original intent, right?
yeah. So let's first of all, I'm going to take this sound. So let's start breaking things down. So just people maybe can understand a little bit. Yeah, what's going on? So here we have the oscillation section that creates the sound, and if I turn the volume up, we can hear the sound. I'm not playing anything. So now I want to control this with the ADSR. So I open an ADSR and connected, raise this level up, which represents number 7, same colors, you get it. Give me this plucky sound. I'll turn off all the other. So now I like to do macro knobs. So one knob controls as many parameters as I like. So for example, now it controls the cutoff frequency by this much. I also change the type, but let's remove that. It's not for this example. And also in this track, I don't think I had much drive. So let's remove the drive a little bit. And I didn't have damage. Okay. Now you want to do this kind of plucky sounds for the filter. So I add another ADSR. And I make sure this one controls the filter cutoff. And reduce this down, release, sustain down. Now we start getting these plucky sounds. And again, we can control how much.
And Ivax, you can totally modulate modulators in Filterverse. There's two ways that you can do it, and while Erez kind of tunes his synthesizer, I'll just quickly mention. You can
I'll do it as you say. Like now we're going to make the cutoff control the amount, the envelope amount too. So I just press here on the top right of the modulator I want to control.
So that's cross modulation. This will allow you to modulate the level of another modulator with a different modulator. But also you can modulate some of the parameters inside the modulators, as you will soon see.
So now is when I turn the cutoff up, also the frequency goes up, the cutoff frequency, but also the amount of this ADSR that controls how much plucky this is. Again, this is not a must, but just to show you another feature that's...
oh my goodness, Andivax, you're missing one of our best features in Filterverse. Filterverse's modulation is all stereo.
Ah, yeah.
So Erez will now demonstrate how we can spread the stereo width in any of the parameters. You can actually control separately the left and the right in any of the parameters that are modulated, and you can create insane stereo effects. You don't need to copy or anything like that. And also we have a pan knob that allows you to do extra stereo craziness.
So here, for example, I like to do just a little bit on the cutoff, so it's not going to be too noticeable. But where I can do the differences is in the damage, for example. Of course, it's controlled by this speed.
When we say Erez is quiet, are we talking about his voice or are we talking about his synthesizers? Erez, I think the microphone picks up a lot of the keyboard. So each time you play, it kind of opens the gate.
I'm sorry. I tried to improvise somehow that.
If we have a microphone stand that you can just put it next to your mouth instead of the keyboard, we will wait. I can take some time and answer some questions on the chat. So no rush. This is the first time that we're doing this kind of joint live show, and we can definitely wing it. Do you want to find a stand or you don't have?
The issue is the when I play the keyboard that it makes noise.
Yeah, I mean we can hear your keys, and then each time you play something, it actually opens your, your gate.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do one last thing. Let's see if
If you have another stand where you can just put it, next to your voice, I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, I don't have one right here next to me. It's in the garage.
So you can go get
But,
it. I can just talk to people a little bit. I'm sure they'll have some
Okay.
questions. No rush.
Okay, perfect.
We have
Okay.
all day. No, not all day, but we have time. It's going to be
Okay.
a nice.
I'll try to do mini improvisation here. Let's see if I have luck. Maybe not. No. Okay. So just give me a minute.
Okay, we have
I'm gonna
time. We have time.
Flip the camera for a sec.
All right. So, yeah, thank you all for joining our stream. We are going to show you some cool sound design tricks that Erez likes to do, and we're here to answer. Yes, you can rename the meta knobs. So if you double click where you see on Erez's screen, which I don't have access to, so I can't demonstrate myself right now. But on Erez's screen, you can see that the first meta knob is called cutoff. You just double click that and rename it. And this way, you can basically designate a control name for the meta knob. And the nice thing about that is, 1 second, we can hear some noises. So I'm just gonna, okay, I think we're good. So the nice thing about that is that you can designate some meta knobs and call them, for instance, in caps, do not touch. And those would be like your stationary values, your constant values. And then you can put a different meta knob on the other side and give it a control name. And this way people will know, okay, this is a control that I need to move. And if you check our presets, you'll see that many of Erez's presets, and some of mine, but really Erez is has done a tremendous job in creating lots of patches with one knob or two sometimes, like a meta knob, that just creates an incredible journey, sound journey from the minimum to the maximum of the slider, and the morphs of the sounds are just incredible. You can control every aspect of the sound, every side of the sound, left or right. You can control the width of the stereo. You can control the ranges of the values of each of the values. It's very, very easy to do. So definitely meta knob renaming is possible and a thing. You can also set inside the preset list, there's a place for you to write a description for the preset, and you will see that in the next version, that will also, you'll be able to hover above the preset name and get that description a little bit more easily than now. Well, you have to go inside the preset browser. But in those descriptions, many times you'll see the sound designers telling you what that preset expects, because it is an effect after all. So that effects can vary greatly by the audio that you feed into it. So they will tell you what kind of audio it expects. They will tell you what knobs you should turn to get any kind of interesting reactions. They will tell you if it needs MIDI and so on. So there's lots of, we have more than 700 presets over there where you can choose from various different okay, how about multi-segment type assignments to, what is MW, mod wheel? I'm just gonna guess, correct me if I'm wrong, Touch the Universe, that you're talking about maybe creating some kind of wave shaper for the modulations. Hello, Ula Sargin. Love from LA.
I think I'm back.
Yes. So you have a mod wheel source in the modulation section. You are back. All right.
Woo!
too loud
Okay.
now.
Yeah, now it's a little bit loud, but you can...
Hey,
all right.
hey,
You sound so sexy.
number one,
Radiophonic.
radiophonic.
Okay, so we do have a modulation source, a modulation wheel source in the MIDI modulator. You can process it with the meta knob, and there's many ways to process stuff with a meta knob. We do not have like a wave shaper inside the meta knob yet, but we do have glide and we do have quantize. So maybe in the future we will allow passing stuff through the sequencer as a wave shaper. Maybe. We'll see. But as of now, you can send a modulation wheel to whatever control you want, and you can also assign the modulation wheel to a knob just by right-clicking and assigning it as a MIDI CC, as you can with any other MIDI CC. So yes, Kaori, this is your chance to ask Erez any kind of question about what he does. This is your infected mushroom masterclass. Yes, so Touch is asking if you can activate the modulation wheel only after it raises above a certain threshold. And actually, you can do that using the quantization. There are some tricks that you can do using the quantization. And so what you would probably do is send it to the meta knob, put it on quantize, and there's switches like switch 1 or switch 2. And then when it passes the threshold, then the modulation knob will open, and that can open another modulation. For instance, if you want to assign another one to the mod wheel like Erez did just now, and then you cross-modulate between them, so it will open only when it passes a threshold. So that's definitely possible, and I've been doing that to create all kinds of effects. So for instance, I like to do gated reverbs with an envelope follower, and I use that to kind of transform the envelope follower into an on-off switch with a threshold by just passing it through the meta knob. So there's lots of ways that you can achieve what you want. Definitely. Morocco, wow, that's incredible. That's awesome. As you can see, we're still we're on the other side of the earth. We're right now in sunny California. We're so privileged to be here, and we'd love for you guys to tell us where you're from. Erez, let's talk about wow. Okay. Let's talk about this sound. Tell us what's happening here. Let's dissect this sound. This is so infected-y.
Yeah, and let's go. I hear weird noises, but never mind. I hope it's okay. So we start with the oscillation section, like I spoke before. I'll turn off everything. Let's go.
You think it's from me, the weird noises?
I don't know. Maybe it's my mic. I'm not sure. I
don't know.
Never mind. So without an the oscillation section, I always have a hard time saying this word. I don't know why. And ADSR controls, like we said earlier, the level of the oscillation section. Now, this is just an evil filter, and I chose the split type that sound very squelchy to me here, which I really enjoyed. So without the drive, and with the drive, of course we have a little bit of damage. Damage makes it stereo in this case.
when you can break your filter in stereo.
Yes. And I also like the warp distortion, which is very different. It does wave folding. That's totally different sound. This is what I like about our filters, that in each filter you have so many more filters inside them, you know, that every one really sounds night and day different, especially when you combine the band pass, high pass, and all of this stuff, drive, damage. You can really create your own flavor here with just one of the filters. So I think it's very powerful that I didn't do much. I just have a sawtooth and I have an evil filter with drive. It's very straightforward, but you know, the magic comes in the coding, I guess, you know, with the damage and all this kind of behind the scene algorithms that happen that make it sound so fat and analog.
We had a session, so many people don't know, but this Filterverse has been developed for 6 years, and we had a session 2 years ago when you came into my house, and we tuned the evil filters together.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is still in the filters. And those things, basically, when we tune a filter, it means that we tune the nonlinearities inside. We tune how hot you need to push the audio to get a specific kind of nonlinearity.
Let me example that 1 second. I just want to show
Yeah.
how cool is that, because in so many plugins, you drive the input very hard and you get this digital kind of, you know, clickiness, digital horrible sound. But here it behaves so much like analog filter, like when you drive an analog filter with too much input, it just chokes, you know. And with the damage, it's like, come on. It's like more analog than analog. It's crazy. We didn't even speak yet about the next cool thing is if I add another oscillation section that will control, let's say, the cutoff frequency or the damage, as you can see. So let's just do it on, let's make sure it's nowhere. So this is without it. Now let's just introduce it to the damage.
I never thought of doing that.
So you see the sound start like one octave, right? And now you get the lower ones. But they sound just disgusting and beautiful in the same time. And of course, I like to do it also. Let's hear the difference if we do it just on the filter. Very different sound.
Sounds like an alien is spitting in my ears.
Yeah, I love this
I have some questions from our users that I want to answer real quick. So, one moment. Yeah. Ulas is asking, are you guys planning to develop a DAW by any chance? First of all, our next step is going to be a synthesizer before we talk about a DAW. If that synthesizer is going to be a hit, and we can grow enough to a critical point, maybe we can consider doing a DAW. A DAW is a very, very involved and complicated project. And we are going heel to toe. Each time we develop an extra thing on our way to a very big and elaborate synthesizer. I don't want to mention the types of synthesis that we're going to introduce because it's going to be a surprise, and it's not going to be along the lines of other synthesizers out there. So you're definitely going to dig it and be able to create completely new timbres and sounds. So DAW, perhaps in the future, but our next step is a synthesizer. Another question that we got is, several technical questions. Are we going to do a maximum render option in our settings? This is a feature that has been requested and is in our pipeline, but it's not very high up in the feature request lists, just because we have so many amazing stuff to add to Filterverse. I cannot promise it's going to be in the next update, but it's probably going to be in one of the updates after that. So definitely we're going to, we have this in our list of things to do. Can you disable the control plus and minus for the, because it clashes with some DAWs. I was not aware of that, so that's a very good suggestion. And by the way, I invite everybody to join our Discord server. We have a place for you to ask for such features, and we listen to all of them. So head on over to polyversemusic.com/chat to get an invite to our Discord channel, and put that suggestion in our public beta forum, and definitely we will put it into our lists of suggestions. Are we going to create more in-depth videos for production and using our plugins? You betcha. We have to balance between developing our plugins and creating this content. So right now, Erez and I are making this live stream. That means that we cannot implement new sounds or make any presets. So we have very limited time on our hands. Our Polyverse is just 7 people, really, not all of them even in full-time capacity. For full-time capacity, we're just 5. We're a tiny company. Anytime that you guys purchase a plugin, you're helping us grow. And as much as we can grow, we can get more coders, we can get more content creators, and design more plugins for you guys. So definitely appreciate your help in that regard. It is a small company, mainly because we're making stuff that is cutting edge. Filterverse is not for everyone. We understand that. And the more people buy the plugin, the bigger we grow, the easier it will be for us to develop more plugins. We are definitely not even close to the bigger companies such as Waves or Avid. So we're slowly evolving and growing, but I think that really the synthesizer will be the big break for us. But any time you tell your friend about our videos, anytime you go on KVR and give us a review, anytime you write about us on a forum, anytime you take your phone out and take a screenshot of you using Filterverse, that's a real great help for us, and it will help us continue making those things possible. We definitely appreciate all your support, guys. All right. So let's continue with the sound, and I'm going to continue. By the way, if you're asking a question and I missed it, definitely ask it again. I try to concentrate and write all your questions down as Erez describes his processes. So, and I'll try to find some places to pause Erez, just like I did now, so I can answer your questions. But I intend on letting him speak more now and shut up and write your questions down so I can ask them later, okay? Here goes.
Should I continue with the sound design?
Definitely.
So here I made a little bit extra buttons for my lead sound, which is this FM thingy that I showed you earlier to control. Let's load the sound again. Controls this oscillator that will go to control the other things like the damage I showed earlier. Here's another metanobe that controls this ADSR in order to create this kind of 303 Another cool thing is when I play low velocities, the ADSR over here knows to play less of the envelope. So this is the percentage of how much velocity will be sent to the filter. So here I play low, very low velocity, then high velocity. You get this quack sound. So as a keyboard player, it's way more expressive for me to play like without touching any knobs, you know, just. Also cool is the pitch bend in Filterverse that you can define over here. I like to do 200 up and 1200 down. That's my preference, so, which means if I'm pressing, let's say, D, and I go up with the pitch, I go to E. Which helps me with some leads like. And the opposite is minus 12 in octave down, so. The cutoff without my hands, as you can see. Woo! Because I have a foot controller. You can choose any foot controller really. I like the Bose one, FL whatever it is, 500 or something, because I think it has more precise resolution when I move it. Some MIDI controllers are very jumpy and not kind of, you know, they cannot stay on one position. And this one, I can move my feet and easily control it exactly where I want it to be. Almost like a proper knob, you know. So yeah, and this sound, of course, richer because of the tempo delay and the space. This is why. Filter and some delay. And this delay I like because it's left, left, right, right, with cross feedback and a lot of dump. And then it goes to the space, which is incredible. Yeah, this is basically the sound I like to play most within live shows. It's a lot of fun.
Just want to jump in real quick and thank Joey Saturday for his constructive criticism. We definitely try to avoid hyperbole language here. However, we cannot refrain from talking about non-linearities because we did spend a huge time amount of selecting those, coding those into the filters, putting them into the right places. We actually have our filters have special solutions that we haven't seen anywhere else for putting those non-linearities in places that they were not achievable before, and they're responsible for a lot of the sound of the filters. Now, if it's for you, if it sounds for you like VST marketing words, I'm sorry, but that's the reality of the development behind the scenes. When we put our efforts into making something sounds great, and for us to be able to describe why a filter sounds different than another, it has to do a lot of in the topology of the filter, of course, but it also has to do with how we treat where we put the saturators, what kind of saturators, their shape, the specific angle as it meets the the ceiling of the saturation, and so on. So thank you so much for your input. We'll try to be as least hyperbolic as we can. Regarding analog and digital, I totally agree with you, by the way. We did not try to sound more analog or more digital or any of that stuff. All of our filters have topologies that are well known. So for instance, bread and butter is a ladder filter, and Swiss Army knife is a state variable filter. Evil is a silent key topology. But if you hear them, you'll see that we didn't even try to mimic any kind of analog gear or anything like that. Yes, they do have some kind of analog behaviors, but that's something that is just usually not available in digital filters, maybe in the drop, maybe in Diva, but that's about it. And we're very proud of all of the research and development we've done to make it sound as to have like the pluses of analog and the pluses of digital here both, but they do not sound like their analog counterparts. Definitely not, and we didn't try to clone or mimic anything. So definitely thank you for that remark, and I like people who try to cut the bullshit. So kudos. Let's continue, Erez.
All right, so here I made like a hit kind of simple kind of sound. That's useful for some sound effects, or to instead of a crash, if you want a different crash. For example, here I used it just before the drop comes in. I'm in solo mode. So you can hear it's very fun to do effects with. Again, I'm using noise to create effects usually, or hi-hats, or explosion, or snares, or this kind of stuff. The usual stuff, control the volume, and then control some kind of filter to make things stereo. I use the sequencer. As you can see, things are not moving equally over here, and it's just this lovely sound. I can go over some more recent stuff I've done. Let's say by date.
Touch the universe. Filterverse is a synthesizer. Well, it's a filter that can be a synthesizer, as opposed to many synthesizers that can be a filter.
Let's control this with the meta knob. Apply.
Mr. Bill, hello and welcome. We love your music. We are big fans, and Erez, well,
Yeah. Well, Mr. Bill and I had a lot of good times. We just met, I think, like 2 weeks ago, was it? I don't remember. He can tell us in the chat. But I had the pleasure that he stayed in my house for about a week, and we were nerding out. We ate a lot of good food, and I learned a lot from him. He's a genius, and yeah, a lot of respect that Mr. Bill is here. Thank you.
Yes, let me see if I can tune the audio a little bit better here. Erez, can we get a tiny bit more gain from your microphone?
Microphone? Sure.
Tiny bit.
A.
Perfect.
A.
Whoa, too much. It was good before. Oh, it's
Okay,
good. It's good. You're good.
All right. Let's see what else I made over here. Yeah, we heard this, I think, earlier. I really like the sound. It's you can hear this when I don't do anything. I don't move any knob. It's just kind of analogish, grindy, disgusting.
Don't say analog. Be careful.
Well, I can say whatever I want.
You can say whatever you want. I'm just joking.
You could say whatever you want. I'm joking. Yeah, we can argue. But to me, this kind of thingy reminds me of broken circuits, but just on the right amount that you like to use. space. Why not? And another space. If you can hear the returns of the space, I'll make them louder. So just, this is not a delay basically. Space has a pre-delay inside. And what I've done, for the first delay, for the first pre-delay, I changed the stereo amount. So the reverb slaps twice. And then I did the same over here. And we get this kind of 4 returns of spaces. So here's one note. Of course, it's too wet, just so you guys can hear it. Lots of fun. What else? This is a bassline sound. Wonder if it's fat enough for people. And of course we can ruin it with
Stacking evil filters is always fun.
lots of fun.
Can you
What
show us your new distortion sound for guitars with the chew sweep thing?
With the chew sweep?
Yeah,
Remind me?
when you put like a fractaser and a distortion on a guitar to get those tiny crazy sweeps. That's like one of the most dramatic.
Yeah, but
oh, it's in a different project. You don't have
different
to do
project. Yeah, because then I don't have audio movers, but I can bring the guitar if I remember where it is. I think you have the guitar, not Assaf?
I do
So
have
that
the
I can
guitar. Should I send it over to you?
You know what? I can just try to plug a guitar for a second.
Oh,
and
that would be awesome.
See if it's gonna work. Let's think for a second. I'll try.
Let's try. Let's try.
With the live stream, I'm using different drivers, so just give me a second.
Let's hope things will not crash and burn on live, but I think we'll be fine. We're very. The software is very stable, right?
Here.
You can definitely modulate all of the rate of the modulators with the meta knob. So you should see on each and every of our modulator sources, we have a modulation icon just below the rate. And you can see it when it's expanded or compact mode as well. So you can always see if something is modulated just by looking very quickly at the plugin. You can tell if a modulation is open and where it's being sent. And it's very easy to modulate, to cross-modulate a sequencer with another sequencer, a meta knob controlling a sequencer rate, and controlling the cutoff at the same time. So all of that is totally possible. Yep. Thank you, Andy Vex. We try to make our plugins as stable as possible because we do make those plugins for our own use. And when I say our, well, I'm not a big live animal as Erez, but Erez has to perform in front of thousands of people several times a week, and he does that with our plugins, and I have a huge responsibility on making the software very stable. We have 100 beta testers, and we also have a group of 20 quality QA guys that go through a huge list of things to test each time we decide to release a version out into the public. So we try to sanitize our stuff as much as possible in terms of bugs and things that can go wrong. Nothing is 100% bug-free, of course. But I think compared to many other software companies, when we say that we release a public beta, that would probably be a version 1 quality for most other software companies. And when we release a version 1, that would probably be more stable than any other plugin that we've seen up until today. And yeah, I've discussed with many other developers the way that they do bug fixing and so on. And I'm happy to say that I think that we have a process that is a little bit more rigorous than most.
For some reason, I think,
Wow, Erez, your voice is very good. I think this is a great effect for the next track. What's going on? Oh, the cabinator seems to have very few cabination. Oh, you have 2 cabinators. Oh, interesting. So, whoever doesn't know, cabinator is not an IR. It's an actual EQ that you can modulate in real time in audio rate.
Anyway, I'm trying to find a preset I did, or I can just make a new
JD Sub asks if we can lock modulators when changing presets. If you can join our Discord server and convince me to do that, as of now I don't see a really good reason to add controls for something that would be used by a very, very small fraction of our users, because we do not want to complicate the interface. We want it to be super streamlined. But if you can convince me that it's super useful, it's very easy for us to add.
Sorry for the noises, guys. Not the best cabin in the world. But anyway.
Those tiny sweeps make all of the difference. Can you bypass the fractating for a second?
So if the headphone let's bypass the filter. Sorry for the noisy guitar. So yeah, here's without fractaser.
With fractaser. It makes the transients really cool.
Trying to hear just the thing, you know? guitar player. By the way, a little bit off topic, but I like to use wider before my guitars, even in live shows. Listen to this.
Incredible.
Anyway, and without wider. Okay, let's put the guitar down because people gonna want their money back after my playing, you know?
Actually, somebody asked if you improved in the guitar, and I want to say that, in my opinion,
The answer is obvious. The answer is obvious.
as long as you have a DAW next to you, you're probably one of the best guitarists in the world.
And as horrible as I am,
Chop chop.
most of the guitars in infected albums are recorded by me or Duvdev, but we chop each section like you know, like as we like it to sound like, and then we connect them. Unless we have a proper guitar player like Yochai or Yossi or Nets or whatever.
By the way, if you're just joining our stream, we are having a Summer Monday special on our website. The prices for our plugins will not be as low as they are for another year. So this is a good chance for you guys to get Filterverse for $99. Never going to be as cheap as that. That's like the last time. We believe that the $149 full price for Filterverse is also a big discount for the amount of work that we put into it. We've put into this blood, sweat, and tears for 6 years of our lives. And so when you get it, you're not only paying for what you already see, but you're already paying for the next...
tears too.
Next, tears, blood, and sweat. And you're also paying for the next filters that are going to come. If Erez clicks on the menu, you should be able to see that it's not completely full with all of our filters. And we pledge to fill it all. We already have all of the filters ready to be populated over there. But because we're so eager to have everything dialed down to the T, we're doing this incrementally and adding those filters and polishing them really, really, really well. The DSP and the usability and the travel of the knobs and all of that stuff, we're trying to polish as much as we can. JD Sub, about locking stuff. Again, I think this is a deeper conversation that I would love to have with you on our Discord channel. So welcome. And I'll be happy to just spend some time with you and understand what you're trying to achieve. Definitely. And all of you guys are definitely welcome to our Discord channel. That's where everybody chats about how to achieve certain things with our plugins. We are going to have a big upgrade very soon to Manipulator and all of the rest of our plugins, especially Manipulator is going to get a lot of stuff, microtonality stuff, autotune, more polyphony. We have a list of stuff, but we also asked for you guys to tell us what other functionalities you want. This live stream may be not the best place to add more of these things because I want to remember and I want it to be documented. So head on over to our Discord chat and give us some of your input, and we'll make it fit your workflow better. Definitely, we like to hear what you have to say. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Good times.
somebody is asking about a disperser, right? So I think Erez can show. You can do a disperser style effect with two of our filters. The first filter, which disperses maybe a little bit less, but offers a bit more, let's say, you can modulate it in audio rate, is the next phaser. And another dispersing effect that we have is the fractaser, which allows for a much deeper dispersing effect. But this one is a little bit more finicky in terms of audio rate modulation, just so you know. This is the only filter of the lot that I try not to... Oh, yeah. And also... Okay.
This is fractizer.
Yeah,
This is
so
without.
you can...
And this is with fractizer.
You can actually change the dispersing effect by adding resonance and pinching. It's still going to disperse things, but in a different way than you're used to from other plugins.
And I like regardless this filter because the pinch and then
Yeah, so you know how a disperser usually gives you a sweep down? And some people want to achieve a sweep up. And that's actually possible with the other phaser. It's called next phase. And if you use next phase and you audio rate modulate it, so you just push the peaks all the way up, you push the depth to 0, and then you audio rate modulate with the oscillator, then you can get really crazy different sweeps.
one second.
I think in that case I would just put it on 0 for like different rates of sweep, but you can definitely get these kind of crazy wacky FM meets dispersion effects that are just insane. Push the depth to 0 if you really want it to be completely all pass, and that disperser will be a little bit more dramatic. Yeah, it's very cool. And another thing that I think people kind of miss about, well, when you try to get those little sweeps from the disperser, we also have another effect called coils, right?
Yeah.
And coils can do a different type of sweep. Instead of an all-pass style sweep, it will give you more of a comp style sweep. And yeah, you got some stuff audio rate modulated there, so.
Sorry.
And you can hear that sweep going slow, and as you add the twist, it will go faster, up until to the point where you can get it to give, yeah.
Make it brighter. Of course, let's make it stereo.
But if you go for shorter times, like really quick sweeps, higher cutoffs, then you can get those. Oh, there we go. Around 12 to -24, something like that. And I'm not sure if you, even if you need a lot of resonance for that, and check out the twist.
Yeah, each can.
Yeah, you can definitely get these.
Amazing. This is also so fat, you know.
We might or might not have another filter on the way that can offer even more insane dispersing type effects. So yeah, we like to take the toilet and put the hole in it. How many presets? 700 presets as of now. I guess that by the next version will be over 1,000. We also intend on adding some cloud capabilities for you guys to exchange presets online from within the plugin, save your own presets and move them from machine to another. But that's for a different, for a later version, definitely. So, Alejandro, thank you for the suggestion, but this is something that we'll have to pass on because part of the reason that the parameters of the filters transfer from one filter to another is for you to be able to A/B test similar filters. So, for instance, if you want to check if you prefer the the bread and butter or Swiss Army knife, and you just want to move between them, they still have the same parameters tuned more or less, and you can see that we try to put the controls that are changing in the same position. So if you have a damp, it's going to still stay there or not. So between that and having to retune filters all the time to A/B test, we've chosen to just have one parameter. Also, your suggestion, if we follow that, it will make it so that we'll have many more parameters to control and to automate, and that will definitely complicate the user experience. So I understand why you're after that. However, we have to choose between one and the other, and we chose that. There are many subtle reasons that we chose to do one thing, and then all of a sudden, we realized, but we're compromising another area. So we really need to kind of, Erez is using expression pedal in his foot to move things in a magical manner, definitely.
Let's disconnect it and show it to you. Whoa.
Beautiful. What make is this?
Bose Boss. Yeah, FV500L.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's not the cheapest, but it's not the end of the world either. It's a life changer for me. I have a bunch of these on the floor. I like it.
A bunch. Wow. How many do you have?
I have 4, but I also have sustains and stuff. 2 sustains.
Beautiful.
I mean, I don't use it as sustain. I use it to, whatever, control other things.
Random preset button. One of the most popular questions that we've received is about a randomized button. And I've experimented with the randomization of parameters in Filterverse, and because it's such a deep plugin, it just creates garbage. And for us to really have a nice random function, we would have to add how much random does each control have, and you can already guess that this just requires a plugin that is deep as the actual plugin right now. If we have to control the range of each control for the random to make sense, so we could not achieve anything meaningful with just a random button. Maybe we can add a random preset button. And because you're going to have so many thousands of presets, maybe that's a little bit more useful.
Like, seriously, look at this. I'm scrolling down and scrolling down on the lowest. Like, you have enough presets.
Yep.
For now. And all of us in Polyverse and our friends, including Mr. Bill and all of other people that we're just friends with, so we bother them for presets sometimes. Say, hey, send us your latest stuff that you've done for Filterverse. And we go through the presets and we choose the best ones. We polish them a little bit to make sure the level is fine, and we release them. And so also in our preset situation, we are very picky, I want to say, to make sure that not everything just comes in. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, we're very picky about the presets that we choose. I'm pretty sure I spent maybe more than a couple of weeks in terms of time to filter out presets that we've received. It's a lot of work, but we definitely think it was worth it.
I would like also to mention a small feature that maybe some people miss is, I know Assaf mentioned it before in the previous videos, but I think it's a great feature. It's this little button over here, this keyboard button, that when you press it, it basically assigns the preset that you're on to the first lowest key available on the list. And if I go to another preset that let's say I enjoy, I press it, boom, it goes to the one after that, C#1. And if I choose another one, it goes to D.
And you can see now in the tags, there's a keyboard tag that allows you to see which presets are assigned to keys. So you can just see exactly where it happens. And if you need to unassign, then you can easily do that without going through all of the presets.
Which is very convenient if you have any kind of MIDI controller on the side, or even in a larger keyboard than this one, you know, it's really comfortable. Or maybe a drum pad. If you have a drum pad, you can assign the drum pad to do the preset changes. So you have, when you load Filterverse, you know, you can have your quick, let's say, 16 favorite presets that just button away. Or you can just jam and cross, what, you know, just do crazy effects, you know, like glitchy stuff.
That's right. Another cool feature in the preset list, by the way, is that if you're not interested in using MIDI, for instance, you can filter those out by, I think, pressing Alt or Shift on the preset, on the tag.
Yeah.
Right? No, this will allow you to drag stuff. So
what are we
I'll
talking
tell you.
about? You're talking about here on the right?
Filtering out a tag. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, so let's say drums. So you see just the drums or dirty or glitch.
Let's say I don't want to see any synthesizer. So then you would just kind of, I'll tell you.
Alt click and it just
option.
showed me this, no?
Yeah, option and click.
Mm-hmm.
Option and click. Maybe Alt and, nope.
I have a PC keyboard.
The other,
here,
oh, you have a PC keyboard, that's why.
Yeah.
There you go, you did it.
Ah.
You see,
Ooh.
now we're filtering out tags. Which one was that? Is that Alt or?
In my case, it's the Windows button, but I have
Windows button, interesting. Oh, you're right, you're in a Windows
on
keyboard
Mac.
on a Mac, right.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit confusing.
I
should get you an LG, a Logitech keyboard. I have something very cool for you. Okay, cool.
I like a clicky keyboard, but also silent one, which this isn't it? Anyway.
Okay, so you definitely can filter out tags, or you can dive deep into tags. So if you want to see, is this my sound?
I don't hear any sound here, so.
Oh, okay, so it's probably from me. Okay, it was from me. I was hearing a sound. I didn't understand. Okay, so I wanted to mention, where was I? Right, so you can dive deep into the tags. So if you say you want to have a MIDI preset for synthesizers, so you click on MIDI and then click on synth. And it's kind of like going into the folders. Kind of now you see all of the presets that are tagged as MIDI and synth. Okay, so there's a lot of cool ways to add those. Another cool things about the tags is that you can add your own favorite tags or drag. So for instance, if there's a tag that you really, really love and you always use it, you can just drag it up to the tags like that. And now it's over there in a convenient place for you to use. Another thing that you can do is click the plus button and create your own tag. So for instance, if you're starting to work on a new bank, so let's say we can call this a
new bank.
New bank, yeah, right. And now it has 0 presets in it, but you can still see it. And then you can drag it to presets or several presets to it. You can just choose lots of presets and drag them onto the bank. And if you want to remove it from the presets, you can just Alt drag and it will be removed from the presets one by one or all of them
Or
together.
together.
Depends on your selection.
Yeah, just hold the Alt button in my
Yeah.
case.
But you have to, yeah, there you go. Gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Really straightforward and makes sense. Everything makes sense. Yeah, so this is a lot. I think we can keep talking about the preset section. A lot of presets have MIDI, as Assaf said, which means they need MIDI input to sound like we meant them to.
Usually
But
when I
right-
connect Filterverse, by default, I try to put, I use Logic, so I have to put it in the instrument and send a sidechain. The DAW, each DAW has a different setting, but always when I open Filterverse, for me, like 90% of the time, I just open it with a MIDI just in case, because all of a sudden I want to key follow stuff or have or trigger the envelope or the sequencer in different places. So it's always useful to have the MIDI just in case. And I
Yeah.
really recommend figuring out for your DAW how you can send audio and MIDI together and put that into your workflow, definitely.
And a small tip in Ableton, you can just drag Filterverse to a MIDI channel directly. And when you do that, it automatically works as a synth too. So you don't need to do any routing or anything special to use it as a synthesizer. What else do we have here?
You know what, Erez, let's say ask our users. Maybe we have we're kind of debating, right, about the next synthesizer.
Yeah. So you
And
want to do this debate live?
we don't have to do all of the debate live, but we can definitely give
Bring
them
it to the
some
attention.
Yeah, let's see what they say. You guys can be a part of our decision process. We've been asking many people these questions. Some of them are colleagues that we really respect. Some of them are users. Some of them are amazing
Aliens.
sound design aliens for sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
from parallel universes.
most of them are aliens.
From polyphonic universes.
So
So
okay,
yeah,
so we have
you wanna,
two. Do you wanna present the question? I don't mind.
whatever. Yeah, but basically we have two options regarding to build an ecosystem that basically all our products gonna be able to load in this ecosystem.
Not all.
Mhm.
Wait. Not all our products, because the old stuff probably is out of reach. So
The new,
yeah,
the new stuff like Filterverse and the
should we
latest stuff.
start? Should we start with a small synthesizer that grows very slowly over time for years on years, or should we give you a finished synthesizer that does its own thing from start to finish? That's the real question. Okay, so
I'm confused by this question.
between a Filterverse synthesizer where we add some oscillators, move filters around, and give you like a very nice user experience based on the Filterverse language, user interface language. And this synthesizer can be released as a version 1, which it has all of the functionality or almost all of the functionality that it needs. Or should version 1 be a small synthesizer that it grows over time to be very deep, and more stuff are added to it? Both options eventually, well, not both options. The bigger the one that grows over time will eventually have all of the functionality of the Filterverse synthesizer, but probably will be not as streamlined in terms of user experience, obviously. It will be very streamlined, but it will be much deeper as well. And also it has to do with how do you guys want to support us? Do you prefer paying for a synthesizer that has all of its features and be done with it? Or do you prefer paying as we go? Do you prefer paying a little bit as we release it, smaller version, and as we add stuff, would you like to be able to pay as we go? And the reason I'm asking that is that up until now we don't like to charge for updates. But as a business plan, as you can understand, we cannot afford releasing a small synthesizer and then just updating it forever for free. So we have to decide about what kind of business plan is it going to be. And we
I
want
see
to
what,
hear,
I see some response already. Joseph Eshine says, give us a nugget first. I know Joseph. He's an amazing guitar player.
So I think Joseph wants the Filterverse synthesizer, right?
I think if this is him, maybe I'm confused. And who else? Start small and then evolve to a modular. That's Kirk Godfrey. Okay. Yes, use all polyverse effects inside synth, not unlike how the current synth.
We're definitely not going to charge for minor updates or bug fixes. That's you can 100% trust that.
Yeah, so right now, like again, Joseph says that will be super cool to have the Filterverse as a synth while you guys develop the bigger polyverse mothership.
So a small detail here to mention is that both synthesizers can probably be released at the same time. So if we decide to go for the Filterverse, it's going to take us about 7 to 8 months minimum from the point that we start developing it, which is going to be after we finish the updates for the rest of our plugins. I hope that's going to be in 5 to 6 months from now. So in about a year, more or less, we can probably a little bit more than a year, we can probably release a synthesizer. Should it be Filterverse or the MVP, minimum viable product version of the ecosystem? And that is a big question, because if we're going to release Filterverse first, the Filterverse synthesizer, say, that's like an eternal name, then you'll have to wait another year for the minimum viable product ecosystem type product. Let's call it right now Flexer.
I like Mr. Hater over here. Mr. Hater is so positive.
Who's that?
Modular is I don't know. Modular is unoriginal, synth unoriginal, do unoriginal. Yeah, give us one. So give us something, Mr. Hater. I like this.
I love that. Okay. So yeah, I agree. Having a regular modular is boring, and there's lots of modulars, synthesizers. I guess none of them is really successful. That's not our aim. We're not aiming to make a modular synthesizer. As you can hear, our real aim is to make like cutting edge technology that usually people don't have access to. Some of our algorithms are completely new, and we just want to have a platform to showcase them. And some of our algorithms are I wouldn't say we invented them, but we definitely helped make them more accessible. Some of them were accessible to people who only know C sound or Max MSP, and we made them a little bit more digestible, more accessible. And another thing that we like and is very important for us is to always stay on the right brain thinking as you create your music. We're trying to make it so that it would be faster for you to create presets from A to B. When you imagine the result and you get there, faster than it would take you to browse through presets. Those are two things that we want to do. If it's going to be through a modular, probably not, by the way, because what is a modular? Is it going to be semi-modular? It's a very finicky thing. We're not going to make an audio lab style Max MSP that takes you 2 weeks to finish a patch. The idea is for you to reach from your imagination to the actual sound, hopefully in less than a minute, as you can do now with the Filterverse.
Yes, for the upcoming synth, I see some comments here also touch the universe and Mr. Hater as well. doesn't want cookie cutters. Yeah, and we definitely not trying to make cookie cutters in our products. Since day one, we tried always to do something that we couldn't find on the market, like I Wish or
If you
zero
find a
latency.
cookie cutter in my kitchen, let me know. I'll throw it away.
Yeah, but we do sometimes want to do some building blocks like tools like reverbs. But even our reverb, it has we're trying to do its own take on reverb, you know, with the smooth presets changing and gliding and MIDI. You can with our reverbs you can play notes with MIDI. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with all the features, but we're definitely trying to make innovative stuff that don't exist in the market. We don't want to make another, I don't want to name names, but another whatever is out there.
Yeah. We're not looking to compete. We believe that there are many great do-it-all synthesizers out there, and we're not interested in climbing that summit. We believe it's very crowded, and it's just not our thing. We want to do something. We want to make a real instrument that will take whatever sick ideas we have in our minds and the crazy techniques that we've developed during our time making music and producing stuff. Erez is an incredible producer, and he's well known in the front stage as Infected Mushroom. Personally, I've been producing artists back in the day. Have many gold and platinum records to show for it, but I'm more in the background of things. So we're all musicians. Even our incredible graphics designer, Scott Kane, is a musician. Aviram, that does all of the crazy math under the hood, is a musician. Navi Retlav, Adrian
Crazy sound designer
is
too,
an
and
incredible
musician.
professional sound designer, definitely, and also Stephen Fortner, which does a lot of our content, is a professional musician. We're all professional musicians, and this is here to serve us as professional musicians, first of all. So we definitely don't need more of what we already have.
I read more comments. I like speed. That's
Will
why
the new
Serum
synths have MPE support? Definitely it's going to have MPE support, but also we're
yeah.
going to upgrade Manipulator to have MPE support. And maybe even I Wish, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and they say Serum is a great synth. I agree.
Serum is awesome.
And Steve Duda is an amazing person, which helps too to have a great person behind a great product. I love this guy. We all love him. And by the way, in Polyverse, we are friends with a lot of other companies. We're not competing with anyone. We're trying to create friendship with everyone. You know, we like to help each other grow, and just so everyone will have better tools. We are all musicians. I want, for my selfish reasons, great tools so I can make music faster and in more unique ways. So we have great friendships with a lot of companies. Like you mentioned here before, Kilohertz. Somebody in the comment wrote about Kilohertz ecosystem that is great, and we agree.
It's awesome.
Kilohertz is amazing, and we love everything that they do. They do really cool stuff, and also the people behind. I heard rumors that are pretty awesome.
Yep. We had a meeting with Kilohertz not long ago, and I think they're really not just awesome developers, but awesome people. And to be honest, it really shows not just on the product, but also in their community. And I'm so proud to be a part of this industry. Many industries, people come to them and become disillusioned. And this is one of those industries where it's just a joy and an absolute thrill to kind of be part of it. We believe that every success for companies such as Transfer Records and Kilohertz and all of those great companies is our success as well, because we're creating a market. We're creating people who just use Faceplant, become amazing sound designers. It becomes their job. Then they teach more people and so on. So those people can also appreciate what we do. So this is a really amazing feedback loop. And we really need to keep the industry alive by supporting people. And one of the biggest things that you guys can do to support the creators that you love is, first of all, buy directly from the website. That's a big thing. Many people don't realize, but buying directly from the website, from creators, is the best way to support them. Another thing that to support those people is just to talk. Go to forums, discuss. And also, I think a big part of what makes can really make our community better is acquiring knowledge. Acquiring knowledge for yourself to get from A, your imagination, to B, the result on the page. This can help us make products that are more professional and geared to people that have more knowledge, and that way you can get tools that enable you way more. So really just discussing synthesis techniques and learning is the best way to support the industry and actually create it.
I wish we could share all the names that are using our software that I'm proud of, like big film companies, and I'm getting really excited about this because since I was a child, it was my dream to do music for film and this kind of stuff. And now to see companies, well, I can name Bad Robot, for example. I know Bad Robot are using our products, and this is a huge compliment for us to see these high-end studios. They can buy anything that they want. They literally don't. They have no budget issues, and they choose to use our products like Filterverse or Comet. And so for me, it's like, oh my God! I go to the studios and I see it just open there, and it's like it's good for my ego. You know what I'm saying? It's really fun.
I have to share a small. You were talking about something that kind of triggered maybe the reason that I'm doing this. I've been making music for so many years, and I've been producing big artists and arranging big orchestras and so on. And it's a big thrill to have somebody say, "Hey, your arrangement really influenced me." But there's something that really shakes me to the core, really, when a musician comes to me and says, "Hey, you have changed the way that I make music." And to me, this is way more rewarding than to hearing somebody like my productions or my music, because of one specific reason. A musician cannot let go of their love to music. They would cut off their limb, they would cut off their hand before they would be able to let go of music. And that's such an intimate place to be between the musician and their music, such an honorable place. And when I hear somebody using a technique that I taught them or using a filter that I wrote, it just fills my heart with absolute joy and pleasure. And it's just so rewarding. I can't even explain how much. It's crazy.
I get it sometimes, during after live shows and stuff, some fans are coming and telling me how they discovered us, or sometimes they had hard times in their life and the music helped them and they happened to listen to Infected at the time. So it's definitely it's crazy to think that you are part of some people's soundtracks, of their lives. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I used to be a teacher back in the day. One of my small joys in life is to teach, right? So I don't teach a lot, but I do like to teach a little bit. And my students always the number one question would be, how do I do this sound of infected mushroom or that sound of infected mushroom? And I think this is your guys' opportunity to bombard us with questions about sounds that you're curious about, and we'll choose maybe one or two or maybe three. And I'm sure Erez would be happy to explain how he did one of those sounds. So now it's a really good
Yeah, whatever you guys want. No
Yep.
problemo.
Meta music. I like that idea. It's a very good opportunity for you guys to. Frog Machine. Never ever land. What do you think? Again, aliens spitting in my ear.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I love it. I just hope that that's not how they reproduce.
By the way, I have here.
Sorry, Derpcat. I try my best with my Hebrew accents.
I want to give a shout out to Unify.
Oh yeah.
I'm using this here in the background just to test stuff for myself, but I use it all the time. As you can see here, I have a lot of presets for Unify that.
I'm pretty sure they have a Black Friday special. For
this is for me.
A
For
low
me, it's
price.
a must, especially if you work with different artists on different. One works in Ableton, one works in Cubase, whatever. You can have all your presets in one place in Unify. You can open as many plugins as your computer can handle. And
$49. It's a no-brainer. Go get it.
$49 is no-brainer. And the great thing, I don't need to connect MIDI to it. I just open Unify as a VST instrument. And here I have, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Filterverses as a VST instrument, let's call it, but in this case, it's basically a synth, and each one has a little bit of different settings, but from the same sound. So every time I hit a note, it triggers from a different Filterverse channel in Unify. So I can do polyphonic distortion that's insanely clean. Usually when you do distortion of chords, you get a mess. You know what I mean? Like unless it's on fifths or something musical. So in this case, each Filterverse is being distorted and having his own effect, which is too heavy. But I just wanted to check CPU stuff. So each Filterverse have a delay and reverb, and therefore you can make anything monophonic, polyphonic.
Cosmic Ape asks, can you map plugin presets to a MIDI controller?
Yes. So you just do it like we showed it a little bit earlier. I guess you missed it. So here's the.
No, you were
preset
showing
list.
to a MIDI note, so it's the same process though. If you move it a little bit to the side, because to the other side, the other left, yeah, good. Now we can see it, yeah. So
yeah,
if you
here I was talking about this, but talking about the MIDI.
Yeah. Clicking on that will assign it to the lowest value of MIDI CC 119. So you can use MIDI CC 119 to assign any preset. You can actually write it down and you can assign any value, but it's easier to just start with 0, 1, 2, 3. So as you automate, you don't have any gaps or anything.
Then you keep going up for presets and it changes the number, you see, the value. So you can change it with a MIDI controller, yes.
Did Mr. Peel teach you to stack a lot of instances of the same plugin by any chance? Haha.
Mr. Bill?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, and it blew my mind, and I have it saved by the way in his Ableton project, and I call it Mr. Bill Filter. They still have a special place in my heart. Mr. Bill blows my mind every time I talk to him, and also AU5, by the way. I love these people; they're just so smart in sound design, and they have different approach than I have. They just think differently. So it's a lot of fun.
Derpcat, Filterverse does not have MIDI 2 support, but it everything is going to have MPE support very soon. And that's going to be implemented. And I'm pretty sure that MPE has MIDI 2 functionality even before MIDI 2. MIDI 2 is not really implemented in many formats, and to really implement it, we're waiting for it to actually take off. We don't like to implement stuff that will stop our users from using our plugins and complicate the user experience. So for us, user experience is super important, and we try. And if it's like between hindering user experience and adding a new feature, we'd like to keep the user experience pristine, because that is what keeps you on the flow when you create music. And that's the most important thing, for you to not stop and think and just kind of flow with your inspiration. Scott Kane just said he missed the live. So I think this is our time to clap and really say kudos to Scott Kane for designing the incredible beauty of Filterverse and Supermodal and Comet. He's our graphics designer. He's an amazing musician. So bravo, Scott Kane, for everything that you've done for Filterverse, for Polyverse.
Amazing.
We love you. And also, if we're kind of already clapping, we should clap to Aviram for his incredible DSP work and infrastructure and math and deciphering things and coming up with mathematical solutions that were never available to DSP before. So awesome. The drums comes in it breakup. How was the drums in breakup done, Erez?
How was the drums in where?
The drums in breakup? Is there breaks up? Is there like a?
No, I'm not that I'm aware of.
I'm not sure. David
Where is it?
Lilja, look at what he
A
said.
question about design. I'm curious the effect or technique trick used in Song Pong. It has really cool arpeggio in the beginning and right before. Yeah, it's funny. I think Song Pong I did with another thing that Assaf did. It's called Flexor. It's for a very old DSP style
Back in
processor,
the day.
and Assaf made a whole modular system that I was addicted to. Infected Mushroom were addicted to. We had a separate computer just to run his DSP stuff, and it's like the best modular I think that still exists today. If second place will be Nord G2, but so yes, over there you have really crazy and beautiful filters, reminding me a little bit of Filterverse.
Don't stop.
Reminded me. Yeah. So honestly, this is what we used at the time. It's a modular by Assaf. It's called Flexor, and I don't think it's easy to get it these days.
No.
But we soon gonna. But all of it you can make basically inside of Filterverse.
Almost, but really, I think Filterverse is
not
several
everything.
levels above.
No. I'm talking about the Song Pong sound. Not everything. It's not made for pianos. I mean, to make sound design as a synth for pianos yet, or it doesn't play samples yet. So it's a synthesizer, you know. But still,
Ness knows what he's talking about. All right, Ness. Yeah.
Where is Ness?
We made Kick Me and Kick Me 2 before the other Kick Me and Kick Me 2 copied us. Oh, yes. Definitely. Back in the day.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's no bigger compliment than other people copying our stuff. So thank you to all those who did it. You know who you are. We love you.
Yeah. Wider copiers and whatever.
We love you.
We love you. Well, I hope everyone will make money with this. We give it for free, but some people are selling it now, so... anyways, next subject. Baseline.
Let's listen to a baseline. By the way, I think we're heading to a...
Here's a guitar, 1 second. Here's the guitar sound before baseline.
You know, you can add a little bit of envelope follower to the evil filter. Oh, not that. Yeah. No, never mind. It's a high pass. Never mind. It's good.
Never mind, but it's just for fun, you know, just another sound, you know, just enjoy this. Baseline. Let's make something. Actually, I already have a baseline here.
I've been doing DSP since for over how old am I? Probably 25
78.
years. Probably 25 years. Aviram has been doing the same. What Erez has been doing, maybe not coding DSP, but definitely writing algorithms inside modular synthesizers, again, for probably 30 years. So we're all in it. And we have a bag of tricks we haven't showed you yet. A bag full of tricks that we want to show you. It's just
I
taking
thought
us
you
some
said
time.
something else that usually Louis C.K. says, but I will not repeat it. A bag of, but never mind. I heard. Sorry. Here's the bass line. And let's open Filterverse. And here's it with a kick. Where's the bassline channel actually? I moved it up. So also this kick was made with the Filterverse, but here's the bassline. Let's control it. I did very small adjustments with this knob. I don't always like to make huge changes. This is just enough what I needed for this specific track. And this bassline, is made from a sawtooth and a square that's being distorted. And then after distortion, they're being so this is the sound before.
I love Mr. Hater. Look at him. Technically, you're just copying filter DSP code. Look at that.
Well,
so, no, Mr. Hater, we're not copying DSP code, although you are definitely correct that many others are copying DSP code. You're welcome to use the ultimate test and try to null our filter with any other filter on the market. Let's see if you can succeed.
We're actually very proud in Polyverse that all our algorithms are written from scratch. We don't copy paste stuff from other places.
I want to put a small caveat. Our EQ filter is it's not copied, but we did calculate it to be able to almost phase invert with most EQs, as it is a linear volume. There's no non-linearities in there, and it's just meant to be a very clean filter. But all of the rest of our filters have mathematical solutions that are unavailable anywhere else in the market. And if your ear can't let you know, then just use some measuring devices and check it out.
Yeah.
We do not copy anything. There's no reason for us to copy stuff. There's already good stuff out there. And we're making stuff for our own use. Mr. Hater, please keep those coming. I love those tackles. And
he's funny. I like
he's funny. That's great.
Yeah, it's a great balance.
And by the way, I'd love you to join our Discord channel down below and challenge us. We love to be challenged.
I want to talk about a little bit this reverse delay yelled opemet, which is basically tempo delay in reverse. It's written, and I love how if my filter goes like from up to down like this, their delay is gonna do whoop. It's like reverse thingy. So as you can hear the return, I'll make them louder.
A little bit soft on the volume.
Sorry.
Woo!
Woo!
Our opinion on all filtered audio: anybody who makes stuff that's out of the box and takes the market a little bit forward and brings new concepts to the table, we love.
Another cool thing, you found a nice resonating tone somewhere. Like here, I'm gonna exaggerate it. Right? Okay, and now I want it not to stay the same tone. Every time I play a melody, I want it to follow my melody. So I open MIDI and I choose note. So now it's gonna follow my note if it's gonna be on an octave, which is 12. So number 4, we put it on 12. So now it's gonna follow. Then I can be higher.
Yeah, because you're playing the bass, so it kind of shifts the cutoff down. Yeah.
So now we can see the bass and the resonating stuff are following.
I want to kind of show how Erez is clicking not on the knob itself, but also on the legend of the knob and on the numbers. No, on the cutoff, you were clicking on the number 12 and 24.
Yeah, here.
No. On the knob itself. Around the knob, we have buttons.
Right.
Yeah.
So
those are buttons that you can click and reach exactly those sweet spots. And all of the sliders have this as well. And I've seen some video demos of people completely missing it out on it and trying to type in stuff that they can just click on. So click those legend buttons.
Yeah, this see when you hover above them, there's a little blue light.
Yeah.
And
especially useful, for instance, when you want to, instead of crossfading between filter types, you just want to select low pass or high pass.
Or in delays, like in delay, you want to be exactly on the 16.
Yeah,
for example.
or choose the exactly place on the pattern because they can interpolate between each other. So definitely.
I also like to show a little bit difference between the tempole and the tempong. Both of them, you can make them left and right and ping pong with modulations or without modulations, but the main difference is that the time goes smoothly when you transition versus which I like to do this kind of sound effects now.
And you can control that tape effect by controlling it with a meta knob instead and adding lots of glide, and then you can get this kind of really extreme tape effect going on because it will smooth your control.
But I like a lot that when I go back to 1, no matter what crazy effects I'm doing in between, it's always go back to be on time. So I'm gonna make some crazy stuff. Now it repeats itself because I went back to 1. So you can just have a session, a recording, you know, and you start messing with or
To your question, Mr. Hater, definitely, 100%. We do actually invent new filter DSP code, and not only that, old DSP code, we improve it, not just by a little, by a lot. And we feel that the Filterverse definitely took the goalpost and moved it quite a bit forward. And we hope that many of our colleagues will take the chance to do the same and follow our footsteps as we have followed theirs in many occasions. So we definitely stand on the shoulders of giants, but we hope to become some of those giants ourselves. Keep them coming, Mr. Hater. I love that.
listen to this lovely. Sorry.
You're tickling my brain. Let's add a little bit more level for this one.
So look, we have velocity sensitivity and kind of one sound when the meta knob is turned off. So and a different sound when it's open. Yeah, what else? This was not preset. I will skip this one. Let's make maybe. Just change the velocity from being 0 to 100. So I have way more expression in between.
Mr. Hater is challenging us to post our filter design, and we actually started writing a paper on some of our techniques, but we are not as proficient in releasing scientific publications as Vadim, which definitely paved the way for a lot of stuff, but we are working on it. So definitely stay tuned. We have two things that we're issuing a paper on, and definitely. We have more things that we've innovated on, but not everything really needs a paper. Some of the stuff, I'm pretty sure that the DSP coders can look at, and they're like, why didn't I think of it? It's so simple. But some stuff is more intricate, and we are writing a paper on it. Mr. Hater is awesome. Do not bash Mr. Hater for making us better and for challenging us.
Yeah, negative feedback is fine too, as long as we are, polite and
we have to be respectful.
Respectful. We're not here to offend anyone or make anyone feel bad. We just really, our goal is just to show you what we did and to make the best product possible. Honestly.
Yep.
For us too. Anything else that there are any questions that we should cover?
I wanted to mention that we just hit the 2-hour mark, so I think we're starting to become tired, and also our users might be nearing their edge of capacity. So I would say let's give it 5 more minutes to answer some questions if you have any. And
here's one.
We'll be done for today. So 5 more minutes.
Andy Vax, what MIDI CC Erez actually uses for controlling meta for his expression pedal? CC11? Well, it depends on your synth. In my case, it's 11, but I also have it mapped as 1 in the same time because I like it to use also as a mod wheel. In this case, I use it as the internal modulation of Cubase, but you can do right click and MIDI learn whatever knob you like. So it doesn't matter what number it is. It's just whatever you want it to be.
Definitely. By the way, those of you who are suspecting that Mr. Hater is a developer, I'm pretty sure he is. He's been reading some scientific work and he's been showing some decent knowledge. So definitely, I think that his questions are valid. I would not say they are negative, but definitely challenging.
It's all good, Mr. Hater. Be you, and we accept you the way you are. You don't need to change. It's fine. Don't be gentle.
Mr. Hater, you're the star of the show today. So honestly,
yeah, it's
we
all
love
good.
you.
It's all good.
Random question. Was Gatekeeper had long times loading preset list? Yes. So definitely, Gatekeeper was loading some of our old type of presets, and
Boom.
I don't think it's the best execution. I'm sorry for that, but I
But
can
now
say
it's great. But now it's great. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Boom. I
okay,
think it's
but
last
you have a new computer. However,
M1.
we can. Yeah, it's newer than the previous one. So
M1. Okay.
sorry. So however, I can promise that the next update for Gatekeeper, which is coming shortly, will have the new preset list on. We're going to have a legacy preset converter that will convert all of your presets, and this one uses a different preset type. All of the presets are separate files. We're using a very special library that can read those presets super quickly and load it to Gatekeeper before you can even blink. And we're going to have an undo and redo for the presets, just like we have in Filterverse. So you won't have to have those annoying pop-ups asking you if you want to change. Are you sure? All of that stuff. Those are one of my pet peeves. And that's going to be gone from Gatekeeper, and all of the flow will improve substantially. That would be a cool twist of events. If Mr. Hater is actually Duvdev.
No, it's not. They have way more interesting stuff to do, trust me. Yeah. And Duvdev is way more funny. Sorry, Mr. Hater. But Duvdev is funnier so far. I think we're good for this podcast, Assaf.
Yep, I think we're good. Everybody, I'm going to go over to our Discord channel, and this is a really good place for you guys to offer new features for any of our plugins, because we're having like a plugin wide update project right now, including Filterverse, which will have more filters, Manipulator, which is going to get big update, Gatekeeper, I Wish, Comet, even Supermodel is going to get a big update. And after that, we're going to go for the synthesizer. So we can definitely discuss all of those things. And of course, we welcome Mr. Hater as well to challenge us.
He's a little wrong about his last comment. You have a little bit ego issues, I think, Mr. Hater over here. A little ego issues. My friends who makes house music here in Chicago paved your path to even have your genre. I doubt it, but because I had a very different path.
Chicago House made Psytrance?
No, it didn't.
I think a good...
do your research. You might be wrong on this one, that's all. Anyway,
as a guy that has attended musicology, I went to university for the musicology department, and I have a very good friend who actually did her thesis on Psytrance. So I can definitely say that this is completely wrong. Psytrance, both house and Psytrance have been born from electro and an acid. So completely different. And I would even argue that psytrance precedes house.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Everyone, good
We love
day.
you. Meet
Good
us in our
night, wherever
Discord
you are.
channel. Continue to offer us a lot of
Ideas.
a lot of ideas. We'll love to talk to you in our Discord channel.